women tend to be more resilient investors. So if you track a 5-year horizon and you track whether, who has more longer term investments, it turns out that women are more longer term investors than their men counterparts. Also, they tend to be staying invested in a bear run, and they are cautiously optimistic during bull runs.
I think it's more of risk aware and not risk averse to say. मुझे ये भी लगता है कि it's all about confidence. जब तक confidence नहीं होता है, then we can't really do something. So if I have to do something in terms of investment or risk taking in general also, I need to know what I am doing. That's something I am generally driven by. Generally, the women, when they invest in stock, they will be long-term investors. I mean, this is my general sense. And for myself also, I will buy something, I've bought something and I've forgotten about it, right? Even when market is crashing or something is happening, I'm not panicking because I know I've invested for long term. But I think for the guys, when I see, they will be panicking a bit more probably. They tend to withdraw when there is some risk happening. That's why I say, we are way more stable in terms of investments also.
As women, we always take calculated risk, and that's, I think, something to our advantage, right? We are not reckless. We just don't go berserk because there's an opportunity. We always have controls within ourselves. You may be good as a housewife, that's a choice you make. You may be good as a working woman, that's a choice you make. I think somewhere the only thing, how long do you have anchors and who help you out in the decision is the most important thing. You need anchors at home, in office to carry you along in that journey.
Hi, I'm Padmaja.
Hi, I'm Shama.
I'm Rituparna, and we are
the Women in Banking and the risk-taking women in banking. Rituparna, why don't you tell the world what you actually do in Axis Bank?
Love to talk about that. So I head the asset liability management in Treasury. That's a very complicated word, I understand. So in layman terms, what is a core function of a bank? Taking deposit and giving credit. And my job is to balance the rest.
So I work in an asset management company. So what we do is we collect money from investors and we invest it in various schemes depending on the risk appetite of the investors. What I do is I see that the money that is invested in the various schemes are invested as per the risk appetite and the offer documents which describe how the money is invested, and we help the business run the business in a compliant way.
So while Rituparna talked about managing assets and liabilities at a bank-wide level, I handle individual loan applications. I say yes or no to individual loan applications based on the risk appetite of the bank.
This concept of risk, it's very, very important, and I think in my professional life as well as in my personal life. I think at every point we keep taking risk, and being women, the only one thing about myself, at least I can say that I tend to overanalyze sometimes. Before taking risk, you think about the repercussions, implications that can happen.
For me, basically risk-taking has come from my mom itself. My mom was a banker, so she took promotion when I was in 5th standard. So I remember, every 3 years, if you're a state banker, you need to lug your bags and move cities. So moving cities was given for us. At that time, I did not probably understand the intensity of risk she was taking, because it meant you go to a new city, search for schools and all of that, fend for schools, fend for 2 kids who are unruly, not behaving the way you want, and all of that. My sister and me always grew up understanding what risk means way young in life. And the same thing with my mother-in-law. I know when she was young, the risk she took. So I think somewhere our cultural upbringing, we might not have talked it in the terms of risk or something, but all of us at some point in time have taken risk without even understanding we are taking risk early in life, be it our career decisions or be it our moves across city.
Like your mom, my mom was a banker, and we are 2 sisters. So my parents have given me very good freedom at a very early age. And because of that, I can say that, taking risk, taking decisions was always left to us. When you are early in your life, you do not know you are taking risks, but when the freedom is given to you, you own the consequences of whatever you do. So all our life decisions, whether it is which college we go or what stream we choose or what we want to do in life, everything was left to us without, the parental pressure that
Yeah.
you have to go in this stream, you have to do this. No. So everything was left to us. And I think that has come a long way in helping us take decisions and also face the consequence that come with our decisions.
Correct. That kind of mentorship, I think we've been lucky. Rituparna, you've been 19 plus years. I'm 21 plus years in Axis and a proud Axisian to say that way. We've had early on mentors who always told us that if you take certain career moves, Rituparna just mentioned she's shifted various job roles in Axis. I've done the same, primarily on the asset side. But we've always had mentors who said, it's fine. You take a call. We're there to support you. I think as we take risk, calculated, non-calculated, when you take the decision, you don't know whether it's risky. You need mentorship. You need someone to support you, right?
So I'm a chartered accountant and I started my career in a management consultancy company. From then, I worked there for 5 years and I thought I need to do something different. So I joined the mutual fund industry in the risk function. I worked in the risk function for some time and then I thought I wanted to do something more. I don't want to just limit myself to risk. So I moved and added compliance to the role and I started doing compliance and risk. After some time, even I thought I should do something else. So I studied law. Then I added legal. So for a long time, I was looking at compliance, legal and, risk. After that, I thought, okay, now I need to do something more. So then I started contributing to industry working groups, SEBI working groups. And I can say that every time that I have added something more of responsibility in my job profile, the journey has been very satisfying for me.
See, I am also working in the financial markets, which is there are very few women here. So, in fact, when the day I had joined Treasury and I had stepped into the dealing room, I was the third girl there among some 70, 80 people. So, I was the third girl. There were two more. Today, I can see 15, 20 girls there. So, to say that at that time, I only had men around, right, who were my mentors, bosses and all. So I think end of the day, it's not like a women-men specific topic, this risk and the guidance. I think it's all about the people around you, how supportive they are. That is one. And also, of course, it also depends on our background, how it's very person specific.
I completely agree. So I think maybe we are privileged enough also to be brought up by parents who understand it's, beyond a point, it's not about gender. It's about you as a personality and the choices you make.
So generally, there's a perception that women are risk averse and, they don't take much risk in life. What is your thought on it?
This is a very interesting topic. So I am, I manage the balance sheet, right? So I am known to be risk averse. I am supposed to be. But in my personal life also, I have a large percentage put in FD. So my husband also tells me that you are risk averse. But I think it's more of risk aware and not risk averse to say. And मुझे ये भी लगता है कि it's all about confidence.
Yeah.
जब तक confidence नहीं होता है, then we can't really do something. So if I have to do something in terms of investment or risk taking in general also, I need to know what I'm doing. That actually is I don't know whether it is a problem or not, but that's something I am generally driven by. I don't know about you.
So it's for me, it's like I see share market volatility, I get scared. I'm like Rituparna, largely an FD.
No, I don't get scared by market volatility.
That's your job, that's your job. So that yours and Padmaja's job and domain also. So for me, it's more of mutual funds. I would rather
There's a customer for us.
Yeah. So I would rather have all, scattered across FDs and mutual funds and all of that. But also again, societal upbringing. And so I can do a bungee jumping also and probably do, be safer on money. I need money for bungee jumping. So, Padmaja, how do you see the whole mutual fund and women inclination towards riskier mutual fund? It's always balanced or equity. How does it work?
Do you guys track some kind of data where we see, how much women are investing or, what is the corpus that women have in our mutual fund?
So this is a very interesting topic. Recently, Axis Mutual Fund conducted a survey of its women investors and there are some interesting insights. So what we did is we had a 1 crore retail database. We analyzed the trends of investment in that. Plus we interviewed women investors pan India, and after analyzing the data, there are some very interesting insights. So it turns out that the percentage of women investing in mutual funds has improved over the years. So there is a number called new to access mutual fund. What that means is how many new investors who have invested in you are there in the period that we are tracking. So in 2012, 24% of new to access mutual fund investors were women. And when we look at that same number in the financial year 2024, it has moved to 41%. So you see that there is an increase in the new investors who are coming being women. Also, what we did an analysis is track the longevity of investments. And an interesting find is that women tend to be more resilient investors. So, if you track a 5-year horizon and you track whether, who has more longer term investments, it turns out that women are more longer term investors than their men counterparts. Also, they tend to be staying invested in a bear run, and they are cautiously optimistic during bull runs. So this is another aspect of how women invest, and that is our finding when we kind of analyzed.
Actually, just want to add one point here, that the same point I was mentioning about confidence, So that this, even now, in my head, sometimes I feel that, I am not as confident as maybe my team or men around are. But over the years, I have realized, even like some of my seniors have also told me that it's all in your head.
Right.
End of the day,
Right.
it's not real, it's all in your head. And I have also done some testing and I have realized that it is actually in the head. So I think the difference, if I have to talk from my perspective, I've noticed that men generally don't have this, hesitance or lack of confidence, which I still face. I don't know about you guys.
Completely agree. And, we have to change ourselves and change more for, at least showcasing to the next generation that they can go out and ask and demand what they rightfully is theirs. Maybe because we are the second full generation going to workspace, right? And in a professional work environment. So we are also learning ropes here, how to negotiate. I think it's a lot to learn from
Things
them
are
also.
changing. Things have changed a lot, actually.
Changed a lot.
Since the time we had started working, and now
Correct.
there is a huge difference. I think maybe in the next 10 to 15
Next
years.
generation will obviously learn from observing us. So demanding more, negotiating more may come more naturally to them. For us, it was learning and work in progress. So that's the difference. But I think we're there.
Yeah, the only thing I feel is sitting in Mumbai or in larger cities, we feel a little different. We are way more equipped to take those risks or
Right.
those calculations. But if we go out a bit out of larger cities, I'm from a small town, so I still have some friends there. So then I see there is still a gap. They are still a few steps behind, which will probably take some more time for them to come to where we are today. So it's happening, it will happen, but it will take some time.
Also, one more thing that I would like to bring out is, we always have this risk of regret. As women, whatever we do, we tend to think too much. Like if you are focused on, if you are a career woman and then you think of giving up your career and working, being a housewife, what happens is after some years, there is a risk of regret that I should have continued with the profession that I had. Similarly, if you are focused on your career, you are always constantly thinking whether you're doing enough.
Nothing is optimal, right?
Yeah, enough for your family. So that's where you are always constantly analyzing whether you're doing enough, and there's always a risk of regret. Ye hota to, wo hota to, and maybe that's where when we try to do things too perfectly, we try to be a little unfair on us.
But I think we also learned on the way because, see, I raise money in the market. So let's say today the rate is 7%. So I go and raise money. Tomorrow the rate can be 6% also or 8% also, right? So there can be regret or, in both ways it can work. So I think you learn on the way and you learn how to take these decisions and how to actually take the calculated risk in all your decisions. And I think every day when I'm working in the office or working out of home, you are taking some risk. And especially in the markets, every day things are changing. So it's always a very risky business that we call, right? So not to say that I'm taking a lot of risk, just that whatever we are doing there is risk everywhere.
Everywhere. You walk on the road, there is risk. So, I mean, yeah, the knowingly, unknowingly, we are taking risks in our life. Yeah.
See, you get returns for the risk you take, and we are in the job of taking risks. So there's no second thought on that.
Yeah, I think the only thing is how good are your controls?
How much are your controls and how risky are you? So I think as women, we always take calculated risk, and that's, I think, something to our advantage, right? We are not reckless. We just don't go berserk because there's an opportunity. We always have controls within ourselves. And coming back to your thing, Padmaja, that, the opportunity cost lost. Largely, I think in the current scenario where we are, we have a large support system with our spouses, with our kids understanding we are working, we need our spaces, we need our growth story. So that way, society largely has changed also. We get a large support system from our spouses. Most of them, I would believe, are proud of what we have achieved in life. That's one thing which has changed. From stepping out to work and taking that risk and having a family support system is one thing which has changed over a period of time and will continue to change.
Yes, definitely. Yeah.
And all this also helps us to have mature decisions, take important decisions in case of investment or buying a house.
Correct.
What you said about recklessness, right? I mean, generally, at least for me and the sample that I see in my circle, be it my friends or family or even my colleagues. So generally the women, when they invest in stock, they will be long-term investors.
Yes.
You are supporting the research that we have.
I mean, this is my general sense.
Observation too.
Yes. And for myself also, I will buy something, I've bought something and I've forgotten about it.
Right.
Even when market is crashing or something is happening, I'm not panicking.
Correct.
Because I know I've invested for long term. But I think for the guys, when I see, I mean, they will be panicking a bit more probably. They tend to withdraw when there is some risk happening. But that's something I think, that's why I say, I mean, we are way more stable in terms of investments also.
Yeah.
Even when we are planning to buying a house or we always plan our investments. There are some goals, right? Either you are buying a house or maybe for you, your child's education.
Yes.
Or maybe some holiday or you want to buy something. I don't know.
So there are goals and we plan to achieve that, and we stay invested till the goal is achieved. Yes.
Most of the times, yes.
How do you think women manage crisis?
2 examples, one from my own personal thing. So I always have some money kept for a rainy day, keep something in FD, something in savings. And I said I'm only a mutual fund person. I don't invest in equities. Interestingly, I have a story of my house help. She's not the typical educated, informed decision maker, you would say, but she still saves some money for a house which she probably will buy in future. And that also happens to be a contingency plan. So the thing that women, are calculated risk takers, applies all across classes, all across societal thing. I think by nature, we know how to save for a rainy day, how to manage our finances way better.
You remember when demonetization happened, and it was announced that notes are not valid anymore. I think it was all women, right, who took out all that they had hidden wherever, in the dabbas and got to the banks. Right. Suddenly, banking system saw a huge increase in deposits.
Correct.
And I'm sure all this came from most of the women.
All the rainy day saving made by women.
And interestingly, I think women learn faster from these incidents. They learn and upgrade themselves more. So that's a very interesting aspect.
Yeah, I think I would like to add one thing that it's my personal view that women are generally more adaptive.
Yeah.
Because of the society that we see and the way we are brought up. I mean, these days things are different. I mean, now we see Gen Z, they are completely different. But at least in our generation, the way we were brought up, I think we had this condition that we have to adapt wherever we go, right?
Right.
So I think today it helps me when I'm working. There is a change or in my role or there is a change in the management or anything. It comes naturally. Yes.
Yeah, but even if you go back to one step back to the previous generation, women literally were not earning the money, but they had the control in finances and knew when to save, when to have money for a future college education of their kids. They were far more financially, adapt and solve that.
Maybe they didn't have the tools that we have today,
But they knew
the basic trend was there.
the basic trend was there, how to save, what to save for your monthly grocery, always have a contingency plan. I think somewhere, to say that women are not risk takers is not right. We were just always calculated risk takers.
Yes, and in a way we plan for crisis management, right? I mean,
Eventually,
that's also
eventually, yes.
That also comes naturally.
There are some advantages.
Some advantages, yes.
So what do you want to say to today's women?
So today's younger generation, I would say, while it's nice, nice to have an iPhone upgrade, nice to have an iPad, and nice to have all the jazzy things, save some money to, equip yourself more for a probable upgrade in your education, probable, something which enhances you, keeps enhancing you for the future. Have some money always, save some money for the rainy day. Otherwise, enjoy life, explore life, do all of that. But also be cautious at once in a while. I mean, that's coming from being a credit person.
My advice to women would be always explore your life, take calculated risks in your life, and try to minimize the risk of regret. Don't think that ye karu kya, wo karu kya. Live life fully and minimize the risk of regret.
Looks like you have some risk of regret, which you should share offline. Yeah, so I think I would want to tell them that take risk in your career, in your life, because today there is no differentiation between a man and a woman. So, especially in world of banking or any industry, I think that way we see a lot of women around. So take risk, do everything, because no risk, no gain.
Yeah, no risk,
Agree
no
with
gain.
you. No risk, no gain.
And finally, just enjoy life and take it as it comes.